In today's episode of the Pathway Presents podcast, I got a very interesting guest here with me today. I'm with Komal Thakur, and she is hailing over from the folks over at moozoom. And moozoom is a very interesting platform. It's basically, basically to educate folks and sell in 10 minutes a day. That's what the website says. No training, no prep time required. And that's what we really want to figure out, how SEL is being taught around the world through the technology, right? So yeah, today we really want to deep dive into what it's all about, but also how Komal is thinking about growth for the company. So welcome to the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, so Komal, maybe tell people a little bit about moozoom, a little bit about SEL, so that folks have a bit of an understanding of what you guys are all about.
Sure. So, moozoom is on a mission to change the way social emotional learning is implemented across classrooms in North America. Let me just pause here and explain what is social emotional learning, since not many people are familiar with it. Social emotional learning is the process through which children learn how to better manage their emotions. It is an integral part of education and human development, but it's been ignored for ages. And to give you a few stats, the symptoms of anxiety and depression in students have increased by 100% post COVID. And suicide attempts by young girls have increased by 51%. So, COVID has had a major impact on the mental health of students. And we know our children need help. They need to learn how to better manage their emotions and, fight the darkness that they feel on a regular basis. And we know that the solution is social emotional learning. And moozoom makes SEL easy for teachers to implement and engaging for students. Our USP is that we offer bite sized SEL movies that are based on real life challenges that students go through on a daily basis. For example, rejection or bullying or self esteem. And our movies are simply wow. They come with choose your own adventure interactivity. So, suppose you were rejected from your friends, and so we will show you a situation and we will offer you two choices. Will you feel sad or will you feel angry? And you can select your own emotion, and the story continues with more choices and conclusion. So, this is how we engage students back into learning, and they just love learning from our content.
Yep, super, super important mission that you guys are working on and super interesting. Now, tell us a little bit about who's then ultimately using the platform and what are they doing with the platform, which, what exact sort of tasks or problems do they solve with the platform?
Yeah. So, just like any other edtech platform, we target two groups of people. So, our major benefactors are obviously, students. So, whereas other competitors offer curriculum that helps students learn the fundamentals of social emotional learning, moozoom helps students learn how to apply those skills in real life situations. So, for example, I can teach you all about kindness and empathy, but when you're rejected by your friends, you don't know and you're not mentally and emotionally prepared to actually extend that kindness and empathy a little bit for yourself too. And this is where moozoom comes into picture, because we can teach students how to apply those skills and overcome those challenges. And we have seen with our pre and post surveys that there is a considerable improvement in student behavior within 60 days of using moozoom. However, no matter how great your SEL program is, one of the biggest challenge that exists is that teachers still need to implement social emotional learning. So, so teachers are the ones that actually use our platform, even though it is the students that actually benefit from it. And we know that, teachers are extremely overworked. They're overwhelmed. They have way too much to do. I mean, we are talking about maths teacher. We are talking about English teachers. So their expertise is in those subject matters. And, they find SEL a bit overwhelming to teach. And this is why, moozoom is extremely beneficial for them, because it is so easy to use. It is click and go. And unlike our competitors, we don't offer, we don't charge any money for teachers training or anything like that. So moozoom's promise is that you can teach SEL, you can kickstart SEL in your classroom in just 10 minutes a day. So super easy to use, and that's one of our other USPs.
Mm-hmm. So how do these, the teachers and the organizations that start using moozoom, how do they learn about moozoom? Like, what's their journey looking like in terms of channels that you guys leverage?
Very, very interesting question. And this has been one of the best parts about working on moozoom as a brand. So moozoom had a very explosive start in Quebec, which is where we launched first. Quebec is the French province in Canada.
Mm-hmm.
And in Quebec, we basically had no competition and an amazing tool. And within a year, we won over 50% of the market share. I mean, we went viral. And then we decided to focus on United States. Now, US is a very competitive market for us. And, we have competitors that have existed for decades. So we knew from early on that this is going to be a war. And so we started our marketing journey with first defining our end user personas and really trying to figure out what do they need, what are their pain points, what are their challenges. And we discovered that a lot of teachers and school counselors create their own curriculum, even when they use one of our competitors, because they were not happy. And, those programs were boring for students. So they're constantly searching for free, engaging SEL resources. And this is where we meet them. So in terms of channel, definitely search and Facebook have performed the best for us.
Gotcha. Now, how do you think then about the website? Now, specifically, if you're mentioning the angle towards the US market, like what role does the website play, to generate sort of clients and leads?
Website plays a very, very important role for us because this is where we actually educate our end customers. And although, it's the teachers that use our platform, but they are not the decision makers. So website like really serves two purpose for us. One is educating teachers because, they're searching for these resources, but then when they come to our website, they want to get additional information. Are we research based? Do we have evidence that, we are giving results and we are showing improvement? So this is where we educate them and help them learn about all the other features that we have. We have a lot of interactive resources, so this is where we get to educate them. And then our strategy has been to simply wow our end users, which is the teachers. So when they want the decision makers to actually onboard moozoom on a school level, a website plays a huge role because they open our website in front of school principals or district leaders, and this is where it becomes easier for them to explain what is moozoom.
Very cool. I mean, you definitely and if everybody who's listening, just head over to Moo with a double O, Zoom app, moozoom app, .com. You guys got a very, very high quality, very interesting storytelling and video storytelling on the website. So that's super good. Now, what do you personally consider then room for improvement on the website, right? We got a lot of marketers on the show. I mean, the strengths are super clear, but where do you see room for improvement for the page?
Well, we're still growing every day, and we are actually going to launch a new homepage around, the next quarter, basically maybe around Feb. And, in terms of rooms of improvement, I would say we are trying to provide better information on the new features that we are launching that are missing. And also try and explain a story about the brand that moozoom is. I mean, I personally believe that moozoom is more of a brand than a product. So for us, this is the space where we actually explain what the brand does. So in terms of actual improvements, I would say that we're trying to offer better, clear call to actions and making sure that teachers are aware that when they sign up for a free trial of moozoom, the amount of content that they get is not just one video. I mean, currently we just have one video, but what we offer is actually a lot more. So this is where our focus is right now.
Very cool. Now, I would like to switch gears slightly and talk with you about your journey as a marketer, right? So now, first question I would have, with all the content out there for marketers to keep on educating themselves and, blogs and books and podcasts, what do you personally like to go? Where do you go to find high quality, marketing educational information for yourself with all the noise out there?
Oh, very interesting question. So I do read a lot of case studies usually of, brands that are doing great. But one of the best communities where I find most of my, answers from when I'm confused and lost is actually Reddit. I'm a big Reddit fan, and the community of marketers on Reddit is very good, and everyone shares a lot of information. So this is where I usually go.
And there's like specific marketing Reddits that you would be checking out, or?
Yeah. I'm very active and always check out all those communities. And even also to get information on my customers, there's a community of teachers. And, because Reddit is anonymous, so you get like really real insights from people. So, although I read books and check out case studies, I always make sure that, once a week I go and read what is happening in the industry on Reddit communities.
Very cool. To wrap it up for today, I would have some rapid fire questions. Are you ready for those?
Yes.
What is the last book you read or the last podcast you listened to?
Oh, wow. Last book that I read was this, I think it was this book called Wisdom of Insecurity by Alan Watts. A very interesting read.
What's one single thing that moozoom is focused on the most at the moment?
Viral growth. We want to go big this year.
If there would be no boundaries in technology, what would be one single thing that you would want to fix for your role as a marketer?
Well, I would remove the iOS 14 update from everywhere and just get better insights on attribution and tracking.
And for the very last question, right? If we would do a little bit of time travel and we head back to the day when you started at moozoom, what would be the one single advice that you would give yourself for that journey?
I would say go big on your ideas and don't be afraid to try. We are really disrupting the market, and sometimes it's important to take risk and go all out.
Very, very cool. Komal, I really appreciate you joining us today. I want to give you the very last word. If somebody would be forgetting all that we discussed about moozoom today, what would be the one single thing that they should remember?
That our students need help, and moozoom is here to help them.
Thanks a lot for being a guest on Pathmonk Presents.
Thank you. Thank you for having me again.